if this was just a 10-track album, it would have been like a
classic
record.
It killed me knowing that you got 2 Drake records and they kind of were somewhat of a, duds, and then you come with a heater.
I'm hoping we can take this and continue going forward in the next, build off this year and keep it going back.
It's been quite some time.
Hey.
Just a little bit. Everybody was doing their thing, little vacays.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. So
BET.
Skin tan, hair long. Smell like vacation.
I love that. You got a little tan on you, Pop.
A little bit.
All right.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, I know you were out in LA last week.
I was
obviously,
out in LA
you can see. I'm thinking of that Sexy Red video with.
When she made it rain on me.
Well, yeah, when you, it's just go check this out if you haven't seen Carl on the Billboard Hip Hop Social. Because what's the line? How do you? You don't even know what you said. Miss Sexy got that money. Like, what?
Oh yeah, I was just in the moment because I thought she was throwing hundreds. So in my mind, the nigga in me was like, "Oh, you need to go get that money." But I was ready to throw the mic and just run to the floor to get the money. But I was like,
"Sexy stimulus package."
I mean, have some sense. It was only singles on the floor. It was only $1 bills on the floor.
Oh, they were real. They were like,
they were real.
It was real money.
It
was real money.
It was real money.
I was waiting for Sexy bucks.
No, it was $1 bills. And then
who was it that had the
Usher?
Usher.
Usher. How far we've come from, with Usher, that joke to what he did. To what
she had her handler come and pick it up, so I didn't want to be that guy.
They said we got to recoup as much as we can.
This inflation.
Literally, this money went free.
Those Usher bucks might be worth something.
Listen, but it has been a busy week. We have a lot to catch up on. We're going to kick it off first with Megan Thee Stallion is back. She dropped her 3rd studio album, Megan, this past Friday. 18 tracks consisted of past singles, Boa, Cobra, and her Hot 100 chart topper, Hiss, features UGK, Glorilla, Kyle Rich, Victoria Monet. How are we feeling about it?
It's fire. It's her best album.
Yeah.
By far. I don't know. By far seems extreme.
Easily.
I think easily and by far are very different. But easily her best album.
Yeah, I agree.
This is it. This is what everyone was hoping she would make. It's dope. I was listening to it, and I love Megan. We had her at number 3 on our list.
Yep.
Not traditionally an album artist. Her albums are always fine. Went in with very low expectations.
Yeah.
First 6 or 7 tracks were incredible.
Fire.
She's
went on a run.
Rapping her ass off. She's discussing the things that are happening in her life with actual sincerity and real heft. She's not joking about a lot of the things. She's really explaining this is shit that happened to me. This is how I feel about it. Also, I'm that bitch.
Yeah.
So this is what it is. The production is even. Usually her albums are great production, and then what the fuck is this? She ran out of money or something, and then. But this is it feels expensive. The
budget was there.
Yeah, it feels like they Rock Nation really was here you go. Yeah. Here's what you need.
Yeah.
It's great, man. There's a lot to dig into. I'm on my 3rd or 4th listen. I think it's great.
Yeah. H-Town representative.
Yo, I agree with a lot what Dave said. I think, especially the mixtapes, we always knew were fire. Tina Snow, Fever. People have been waiting for the album to deliver on that level. And I think, interestingly enough, with this one, because I wasn't sure where it would land in the sense that Traumazine, when it came out, was obviously the response to everything that happened with Tory Lanez and sort of the initial feedback. And so for this album to be the response to the response, part of me was okay, has some of the material that could have been there on this new album kind of been used up in Traumazine, but it's actually the response to the response is what's fire. I don't know if Megan even necessarily thought that she would ever have to make an album like this. You thought Traumazine was gonna be it, and then it's yo, people still talking about and people are still taking metaphorical shots and now we got to go back and give a response to the response. So I mean, starting out with Hiss, and hearing Hiss I think especially in the album sequencing,
It's crazy to start
sort
the
of like
album
really,
off.
because like
made me appreciate the record again.
yeah,
Right.
because I mean, literally, like kicking off by saying, okay, like I'm gonna say this shit and I'm gonna get it off my chest, and we can stop fucking with this. Like from the minute
when Hits dropped originally, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But when you hear it as an opener,
as the intro
like
to
now,
an album,
it
is-
resets the whole narrative. Yeah, I mean, 18 songs, I could have done without a couple.
Yeah.
You know, we could have
Which
tried
ones?
to maybe.
or-
Um,
we were talking about the one that had the Japanese rapper
yeah,
on it.
Oh,
well,
yeah, that
Mamushi
was-
we were talking about beforehand. Y'all,
that was the only
you
one.
had to hit,
I was
you had to
like,
hit pause when that came through.
Yeah, because when he started rapping, I legit just hit next on it. Yeah.
But honestly, with Otaku Hot Girl, I kind of like that Meg went in
To our anime bag.
in that different
Yeah,
direction
yeah, yeah.
because I think what made some of the early mixtapes fun too was like Meg had more fun with stuff.
Right.
Like she
Right.
was like really playful with it. She was just really kind of like doing silly shit. And so I think even though, I mean, I don't necessarily think that's going to be on my playlist,
Right.
but at least to hear it in the context of the album, it kind of broke it up sonically. It gave it a different little vibe rather than just sort of 18 straight jackhammer kind of shooting tracks.
Right.
So, I mean, that's really what it like.
Yeah.
Next
how she
taste is
raps.
literally,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying,
It's
like,
just like dun, dun,
sometimes
dun,
like,
dun,
I'm
yeah.
like, ugh. So I could, I mean, that one was all right with me.
Jackhammering
I got to
through the
use
album.
that. I got to
It's a
use that.
jackhammer,
Yeah.
it really is. I mean,
I think that's the right.
the right
Yeah, I'ma
genre.
steal
Yeah,
it.
I
I'ma
like
steal
that.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could have done without Worthy. I thought was interesting. Like
thought
that
it
was the
was- I
pop
thought-
alt kind of one.
I could
towards
live
the
with it.
end.
I could live with it.
It's not that I didn't like it. I guess it just came too late and was
Yeah.
it was kind of a weird shift. Like 2 tracks down from the bottom. So it was like okay. It kind of reminded me like when SZA had those couple tracks on SOS that were like I think F2F was like the sort of alt rock Avrilish one. I was like okay, this just kind of threw it off a little bit for me. But I like Otaku Hot Girl. I thought that was good.
It's a good one.
I like Rattle a lot.
Yeah.
I thought World and Girls
that was
Out was
good.
really good.
Yeah.
So in general, I mean, I think this is probably really a hit album for Megan in terms of the quality. I think the reception has been pretty strong so far. And of course we'll see. How
I think
it
those
does going
first 9
forward.
tracks, looking at it now, are just. If this was just a 10-track album,
You
it
think
would have
it'd be
been
10 out
like
of 10.
a
Album of
classic
the year.
Yeah.
record.
I was thinking about that when I was at the gym today. I was surprised because I was 8 tracks in, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
There's not one
You
fucking
haven't
miss.
missed, yeah.
I think what I was most impressed with her, she's always been known for like having these sticky singles, but I think like her songwriting in terms of like hooks went up a level on this album. Like there were a couple hooks, and I was just like, okay, this shit is pretty catchy. Like I could rock with this, and I started bringing them back a couple times. Rattle was one of them. Figueroa I love a lot.
Figueroa is great.
That's a heater.
It's great.
To me. Oh, you want to?
What? You don't fucking figure. The chorus is great.
I don't know. Some of the chorus just felt a little like it was alright. Like I don't
Okay.
know.
You don't like songwriting?
It's hate it. Hate my
It's
hate
like
a
songwriting ain't
songwriter.
for me. But I thought even some of the chances she took, like you said, at that one, what was it, the Maushi record, whatever it is. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. I can't. I
think
own
it's
that, y'all. My bad.
Y'all go ahead. Just go ahead,
but
pack it up.
Her even
Mabushi.
taking certain chances like that, and the Kyle Rich, the drill record, I thought was phenomenal. The BAS, both ain't shit record.
Yeah.
And I thought she was very calculated with her features too. Shout out to Big Crit getting a look on this album. Buddha Bless and Big Crit on a record. I think it's the Miami Blues. The UGK record is fucking fire. Hearing Pimp C give out a verse. Her and Glorilla. I think that is just the
It's like
MVP.
Ghost and Ray right
Well,
now.
that's
It's like Ghost and Ray right now.
They might
bro.
need a purple tape,
They
man.
might, need
Listen.
to, they might really need to do a
honestly,
whole
that tag
project
team
together.
is delivering.
I
like, every
thought
time.
about this, and you guys can maybe tell me if I'm bugging. I don't think we've seen this before. Would you guys be cool with a repeat? Like if they were, one, if they did an EP together, but 2, if they went on tour again together. I think that's kind of like, I would kind of want to bring that tandem back again for the road and take it a step further with a project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, and we're going back to your boy when we see,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Drake
Drake
and
done it.
Future, Drake and 21. I mean, we see all these little pairings kind of come together.
Yeah.
Like, why? I mean,
But
I
from a
think
tour standpoint, you think people would still want to pay to see them both again?
If they drop a project that is just 10 tracks as good as the ones
Yeah.
that they've released so far,
Yeah.
I think people would be here for it. I think people would fuck with it.
And then,
They
of course,
got
you
chemistry.
add the solo shit that they'll do
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
for a tour set. I mean, they're going to do,
Like Glow is
TGIF is going to do Yeah Glow is going to
Dude,
be.
I
Glow's
told
on
you,
fire right
when I
now.
went to the Garden, man, Glow fucked that shit up, man.
she's on fire.
Yo, Glow is, I mean, I know it's sort of segueing from Megan, but it's crazy because Glow obviously came out so strong with
Yeah.
FNF Tomorrow too. And then Cass would have thought the second, 2023, they thought, oh, okay,
She was cooked.
It's a 1 year wonder. We knew she couldn't hold on.
A 1 year wonder.
That's really
You
what it
coming with
was.
these
It was
puns
like
today,
You're on
bud.
fire today.
That's really
bro.
what it was.
A
I'm
1
saying,
year
like,
wonder.
Cass,
That cha-cha
Said,
bullshit.
fuck a
Look,
hit.
I'll-
You get 1 year.
that's it. You're gonna last
Yeah.
one summer, and then in 24, she's come back and just fuck shit
Yeah,
up.
wanna
like,
be, yeah, Glow, TGIF.
Yeah.
She's been cooking.
I mean, she got
Riri gave her
Rihanna. I was gonna say she got
cosign.
Rihanna out here,
The Rihanna cosign.
rapping like this is.
No, she is at a whole different level, and I love that you mentioned the female MCs list, because as we said in the piece, and we got to reiterate this, that was just like the first early rankings. The final rankings going to come out end of the year. I think there's going to be a lot of reshuffling on that.
That's why the title ended with right now.
Right now,
It's gonna change end of the year.
Yeah.
And I think both Megan Glow are gonna
Oh yeah,
rise
shoot up.
up.
Absolutely.
'cause
Absolutely. I just hope, and I think this has been a great, year so far for Meg. This is kind of reminiscent of when she had that run with Savage and she got the 3 Grammys. I think this is the first time since then that she's been able to put everything together in terms of having that feud with Nicki, topping her on that, hits going #1, having a sold out arena tour, having a fire album. The feature's been hitting. So I can't wait to see what she does to finish out the year. But she's having an MVP year.
I also
having
think
an
that
MVP year.
you see it in public at like events, like the BET Awards, or even just like on social media. She acts as this like nucleus of the female rap world in a way that we haven't really seen in a long time. To me, she's acting the way that people, I think, wanted Nicki to act, as like bringing up the newcomers and like, casting this wide, broad church for people to come under and feel connected to. And
Do you feel like Cardi never had that moment?
I think Cardi is great and very magnanimous at being like, oh, I'm going to, spread love to everybody. But she's never had the opportunity, I think, like Meg's had this tour where she's like, everybody come be a part of this thing. Like everybody who fucks with me, you're welcome to come and come backstage and kick it or come on stage. Like Cardi's, she's like, I'll get verses out, I'll show up for you. But
Meg's
people
been more
seem to,
intentional.
people seem to gravitate around Meg in a way that they didn't to Cardi. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Maybe they just didn't record it or whatever. But you see there's always like a group around Meg, and people seem to like really be enamored with her, and it's like real star power, right? It's like like when she was at the BET Awards and she came out with Glow, I was like, she's a star, like a superstar.
Yeah.
It just feels like that. And not that Cardi is not a star, but as we talked about on the show before, there's some things that Cardi still has to do. Their album, tour, to like really become that person, I think. And I think to Carl's point, this is Meg putting it all together, and we're seeing the fruits of that. Like people are like, yes, you didn't coordinate yourself. We're gonna coordinate you and come to you and see you are that person now.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see her hopefully grow in that role and become bigger. And this album is great. I think we all agree on that. And I think this is like a great place for her to continue on and do more great stuff. But I love to see it. I think she's
I love that you said that. Yeah, because I feel like thinking about it, obviously you guys know I'm a Cardi advocate. With
Never
Meg,
would've
I think she is becoming so receptive to being that face of female rap.
Yeah.
She's not running away from it.
Right.
And with Nicki obviously still killing it, but she's kind of, I don't want to say aging out, but there has to be a new face. Cardi still hasn't put out an album in 6 years. Meg, the baton is right here for her to fucking just take it and go and run with it.
I was like aging out for Nicki. Nicki's just like seems to be in her own world. She's like, I've done all this already.
Yeah.
I've been in the public eye. I've given so much of myself already to all of this. Like, I'm good.
But I still think she has that competitive. I mean, maybe it's just with Meg, where she doesn't want to give that.
Of course, I don't think she's ever gonna like give that up. But I think like the battery to do everything that we're talking about, it's a lot to do. Yeah. All right. It takes a lot out of you.
It's a lot of
It's very time intensive. She has a kid. She's like growing into being this different person behind closed doors. It makes sense that someone like Megan is like, yeah, I'm gonna come in here and take over this spot.
I'm gonna run this shit. Yeah.
As your boy Drake said, the throne is for the taking. You know, watch me take it.
Watch me take it. Watch me take it. We're actually, that's a perfect segue and pivot.
Okay.
We're going to go to Miss Camila Cabello, who also released her album on Friday, C XOXO. 14 tracks, features from Young Miami and JT. Can't even say City Girls because she billed them separately.
That's crazy.
Lil Nas X.
Get a cease and desist for that.
Right? Playboy Cardi. And of course, 2 features from The Boy, one being Hot Uptown and the other one being an interlude dubbed Ugly.
3 U's.
3 U's. I came decked out today. I thought about it. It's like my 3rd Drake / OVO shirt since we've been filming. I came ready, prepared, because I know the shitage is gonna begin.
Wow.
What?
The shitage.
So I came ready to protect my boy.
Okay.
From the shitage, but
from Facts.
2 tracks are out. How do we feel about those records? Because there are, little conversations being started like, oh, the Drake stimmy, it ain't hitting like it used to hit.
Hey, man.
Well, go ahead. Because I know you've been itching for this for a month now.
Whoa. I'm not itching for it. It's
just tearing a black man down, man. Go ahead, man.
Well, I like the song. I like
which one?
Uptown.
Hot Uptown?
Hot Uptown.
Yeah,
okay.
Hot Uptown. I think it's a good song.
Okay.
It sounds like a Drake song.
Honestly, never mindish.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like it was made in those sessions.
Yeah, sounds like a Drake song. Fits into the album to me because the album sounds like an amalgamation of other popular songs. Mm-hmm. There's like a bunch of songs on there that I'm like, oh, this is a song. Mm-hmm. This is like a Charlie XCX song. But the Drake song I think is interesting because it feels like it was made in like a different era or a different time.
Yeah.
When we know it was made like a year ago, maybe.
It's like some Marvel Universe shit.
It's crazy.
Wait, the Drake song being the Ugly interlude. Oh, you mean?
No, like both of them basically.
Oh, okay.
That he had this feud.
They feel like they were made in like a different time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it sounds like a Drake song, and we're like, yeah, this could have been on Honestly Nevermind. But listening to it, you're like, damn, this feels like.
Like yes, you filmed this shit, almost like pre-pandemic, and now the world has changed.
Yeah,
it's
like we've moved on from this point in time.
Yeah.
In a way that the rumors were that he didn't want it to come out.
Who would?
And I get it.
Yeah.
Not only because you wouldn't want this to be the first thing that comes out
it's
after.
Not a reflection of where he's at right now. Yeah.
But more so because of that.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like we're all waiting to see what he does, right? Like what the new thing is from him, which I'm sure there will be after the fucking Pusha beef. We got God's plan, and this feels like something that he was like, oh man, can I give you like a newer song? Can I give you I've been working on this new shit. It's better than this, and it's not bad, but it's like it feels dated. And it's weird to say that about a Drake song that we know was made probably less than 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have had you go first.
I think.
Nah, the prosecution always go first. You know?
Holy shit.
I thought Hot Uptown was a solid record. Like I said, very honestly, Nevermindish.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me when Nicki got the Needle record with Drake.
Okay.
And I was, in my mind, I don't know why, but I was comparing those two, and I was like, oh, shit, Drake gave Nicki the better throwaway versus Camila. Though I thought Hot Uptown was solid. In terms of just, like, verses, like guest features. I thought Ugly was mid. What killed me the most with those two records was the track after that. The Dream Girls record.
Oh, with the Dream sample?
That shit is
Fire.
hard.
Fire. Yeah.
And I was like, it killed me knowing that you got two Drake records and they kind of were somewhat of a, duds. And then you come with a heater right after that.
Yeah.
That's the one time I kind of thought.
That might be my favorite song on the album, actually.
That's where I kind of was like, damn, Drake actually would have sounded good on this. Yeah. And then it was also like, I never would have thought you're coming off two colossal. I still think Drake's a colossal feature artist. Coming off two colossal features.
The biggest feature
You feel me? And just for them to like kind of be mid, and your own solo record trumps both of them.
But is it mid? If the
feud
continue
did
on
not
some
happen,
Marvel shit.
If the feud did
if
not
the
happen,
beef didn't happen, and
that's not one of his strongest features. It's not one of his.
I'm not saying it's like one of his songs. I'm just saying it's, to me, listening to it, I was like, this is
It was cool.
fine.
This
is a fine Drake feature. This is like a run of the mill Drake song.
But that's the thing, right? And I feel like Hov dealt with this throughout his career. You get to a point where you ascend to a certain level, expectations are so huge and grandiose, where it's like, you gotta hit it every fucking time. Anything less,
as Hov said,
it's mediocre.
It's a penalty of leadership,
right? So
you gotta keep it going.
Exactly. So even if the beef did not happen, I'm still holding Drake to those standards. Now shit is just heightened, where it's like, it gotta be fucking undeniable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think that if the beef didn't happen and this was just like, and she was just coming out with the album, and she does the same thing. She drops the Cardi record, and then this comes after it. I think people are like, yeah, fire. I don't think people would be like, oh, well, this is not that great.
Right. I mean, well, Trevor, do you think the quote unquote the Drake effect, is it in question? Is it still?
I mean, I'm not gonna put the Drake effect in the grave off this situation.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's so hard to say that off two, and not even like rap songs. Like these are pop, pop dance kind of hybrid genre songs. We got The Ugly, which is sort of a typical sort of sad boy interlude. Like that to me is not Drake at like, if Drake were trying to fire back on a verse and it just fell flat, that to me would be more of a warning sign than, just two songs that I think are so separate and so removed. There are Drake fans are not running to this album to hear what he to play it again because like, oh, that bar didn't deliver, or he tried this little pun, it didn't work. Like there's a very pop Drake lane and there's a very like hip hop lane. There's a reason when Honestly Nevermind came out that Jimmy Cooks was a song that took off.
Right.
Like that fan base is for that kind of sound. So I'm not gonna sit here and say just if these songs, don't become these major hits that people want to attach to Drake's name, that it's like, oh, we knew it. He couldn't bring Camila Cabello to the top 10, so I guess he got to pack it up. He couldn't bring an interlude to the top 10, so we got to pack it up.
He's gonna bring the numbers in. He's gonna bring the numbers in.
I mean, we literally
he's gonna bring the
numbers
stats.
guy.
But we literally saw 4 bats this year, like jump
Got
up
a top 10 record
off the
courtesy
Drake
of Drake.
features. I mean, it's like
That was a 4 bats was already a star.
I mean, the song was
but
song was percolating, but
from a stat
if you
standpoint,
want to say,
I think
if you want to say on the
even
numbers,
wrote that he didn't even need to do it. That was our prediction.
But now he has the
That
top
was
10.
Billboard
But now
Hip Hop's
but
prediction.
But now he
That
has the
what?
top 10 record courtesy of the boy.
that song was not coming close to top 10
It wasn't.
until
We said that might happen on its own.
But well, you know what's now
it's different. Now we're changing our mind.
You know what's first of all, I didn't.
It's a great song, by the way.
I didn't write shit.
Sans Drake, it's a great
just-
song. It's still a great song, minus Drake. The 4 bats.
What Act 2? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I don't know if it would have been top 10.
Fine. I'll
Drake put it on the
I'll
Express
concede
track,
that to you.
and-
I'll concede that. I'll concede maybe it would have been top 10. But also, when was that?
That was like April.
I mean, what you talking about pre-feud?
That was like April.
You cannot sit here and tell
March.
me that off just the first
Yeah, I'm not
time.
gonna. Yeah, you can't.
The first
fair.
time
I'm just-
post-feud.
I'm
with
saying
an
is look. Don't listen to me.
We're on.
Look at the numbers.
Okay, so we're going post feud, right?
Yeah.
He
But
did.
y'all
He
act
did the
like-
Sexy Red record.
Yeah.
My everything. That debut top 40 or no?
Good. No.
It got it was
44
on Hot 100.
Great song.
Great. I like that song a lot.
Great verse. Did you expect more from a chart standpoint?
I did.
Okay.
'Cause
So you're calling it a fail?
No, I think debuting at 44, great for Sexy Red,
Bad for Drake.
bad for Drake. Especially if you're taking Trevor's argument that the bag that his fans are looking for that actually is going to take off and work is like the Jimmy
Jimmy Cooks.
that lane. That's it. That's the Drake spitting on that shit. Drake killed that verse.
He did.
That verse is fire.
That had the Metro.
Now,
Flip
yeah,
the
I mean,
BBL
I given the flip and everything, I thought there would be more.
I thought that shit was
Trash
gonna
in it.
Absolutely.
catapult to the top. It had all the pieces. It had him. He's actually talking about the beef. He's like, you know, I would do this and this if these niggas would stop starting with me. He flips the fucking sample, and still nothing.
But how much of it is being a casualty of the beef versus just the actual fall off? Because time.
Well, it's tough for us to. It's tough for us to. Yeah, it's tough for us to like really extricate one from the other at the moment.
I would love to revisit this conversation in a year. And
Sure.
if it's a continuous theme, then
Sure. I'm just saying, all we have right now is what we have right
are
now.
just those
Of
two
course.
records.
That's my point. All we have right now is what we have right now.
Because there's some features Drake done, and they just like
Well,
shat
no
the
one
bed.
no one remembers.
Fucking,
those.
you remember that Sway Lee record?
No.
Exactly. My point exactly. That Sway Lee Drake record, which was absolutely
Do not
trash.
remember that shit at all.
My point exactly.
I mean,
Oh
we
yeah, I do remember that song.
Yes,
we are
I do remember
so
that
used
song.
to him,
Yeah.
bringing everybody
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
That there are a couple that got lost by the wayside and nobody remembers. But we can't, I don't think we can sound the alarm just because. Now, if he starts putting out one thing, I'm saying, if he puts out more features, trying to recapture that magic, they don't work. Okay, then clearly we can look at that and say, okay, maybe the hit potential is getting a little more desperate. We're getting a little more out there. To your other point, though, I will say, the fall off about Drake is, I mean, it is out there. People are really like thinking post Certified Lover Boy that things have started to scale back, and we don't know where it's gonna go. I was actually one stat that kind of always intrigues me is that Drake's Hot 100 number ones. The last time he had a multi-week number one, like more than 1 week at number one, that's what multi means. You know what song it was?
Try Jimmy Cooks.
It was In My Feelings.
Wow.
So the thing about it's interesting.
Scorpion?
Didn't have more than one
It was
week?
1 week.
Wow.
And of course, it stays around the top 10.
yeah.
But
That
it's
was
interesting.
Scorpion.
Yeah, the Scorpion.
2018.
But it's funny because it's like, so Drake, Drake records are still events.
Yeah.
They always debut at number one.
So they had,
what's
like, What's
next,
Next
or,
that went number one
and
for
Wait
a
for
week.
You, and
Yeah,
Way
he
Too
has-
Sexy, and all this stuff. But
What
they
album?
don't seem to last as long as they used to.
What album was it when? I think it was Certified Lover Boy when, as usual, every song charted,
Top 10.
and then the next week it was gone. Was it Certified Lover Boy that started?
Well, Certified Love. I mean, I thought Way Too Sexy like debuted at number one. I thought that was gonna last.
Yeah.
And it ended up only being 1 week. I mean, you see the album bombs always kind of cascade.
Yeah.
They're always sort of hanging back. I know what Her Loss, the Rich Flex going number 2, and Taylor Swift blocked it from number 1. That
Great
was a
album, by the
thing that
way.
People were kind of
Let's remember that.
Which one?
Her
Loss.
Ain't
Great
nobody-
album.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Great album.
They meant Taylor album.
But I mean, it feels like, but Certified Lover Boy kind of only had that one major pop hit,
Right.
and
Right.
then it sort of struggled to find a second one. There were a couple tracks that floated around radio for a minute, but definitely like between Scorpion and Certified Lover Boy, at least on a chart level, it changed.
Let me pose you guys this question before we go to our next topic. Because I don't want new artists to think Drake's cooked, because I promise you, if the opportunity for a free Drake feature came,
Yeah.
I would hope 99.9 of
Absolutely.
y'all cats would take that
This
shit
dude is
every
like,
time.
this dude is falling from Mount Everest. He got a long
So I was just
way to
gonna
go
say,
before
so
he hits the
if
bottom.
you're a
Yeah.
new artist and you have a free Drake feature on the table, you're taking it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Just
For a
making
free feature
Just
too?
making sure. Just
Absolutely.
making sure. Because
Yeah.
there's cats that are really
Even if it's
adamant
not
about
free.
the fall off, where it's like, oh, I'm not touching him. You know, after
If you
what
have the
Kendrick did.
budget, and Drake's like, you can't afford me, but I'll take this much.
I fuck
to
with the
give
song.
you,
Let me hop on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not
You'd
to.
be an idiot.
Okay.
To not do that, and I think, yes, everyone's like, the Drake effect. It's over. I think they conflate two things. I think the idea of the Drake effect slowing down and ending is not the same as Drake being over. Right? I think the Drake effect is a standalone thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's the ability for him to catapult, as we said, to catapult songs to the top of the charts, because he's just that hot and people are that into him, listening to him. That might slow down just because it's time, right? Like, it's time for a new guard to take over. People have done all week. There's the people who were, if you were 10 years old when Take Care came out.
You're in your 20s now. Yeah.
So just the audience is different.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different consumer base out there. So of course things are, that effect is going to change. It's not, there's different people. But the idea of Drake being over, I think, is ridiculous. Even Ja Rule,
That's all I want to hear.
when 50 Cent eviscerated him,
Damn,
still.
we gonna put Ja and Drake in the same.
No, I'm just saying, because people are like, "Oh, it's over for Drake." Like, look, you got
it was
Ja
over
Rule.
for Ja. It was-
People think that, but if you look at his album sales, he still was going platinum and gold.
There was an RULE. That was the album he dropped because he had the Clapback joint, the Blood of My Eye.
Clapback, yo.
Blood of My Eye. That wasn't a good album, but RULE. He had Caught Up. He had Wonderful, the R. Kelly record, which with Ashanti.
Yeah,
Right, but it was a top 5 record.
Yeah,
on
no,
the
it
Hot
was a hit.
100.
It was definitely
that
a
was
hit.
a great album.
like the album that came, it was like the last
Had New York on it too.
Temptation, and then Blood in My Eye.
Mhm.
I think Blood in My Eye was like a brick, maybe.
Yeah, that was the Clapback record.
Yeah, I think that was. But then, after he was like, "All right, let me just get back to doing what I do."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, RULE.
He was back, like he was back selling records. He wasn't at the level that he was, but people were like, "Thank
was
God
cooking.
you're back to like
Right.
just making the songs that we like you making."
Ended up making New York with Jada and Fat Joe, which is a staple.
And I say that, I'm not saying that Ja Rule and Drake are the same, even though Ja Rule, immensely talented artist who made absolute bangers
Yeah.
and gargantuan albums. I think people forget just how fucking big Rule 336 was
Yeah.
at the time, or
Yeah.
Pain is Love was.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
albums were massive,
Mhm.
like massive hit
I agree.
records, hit albums. Drake is bigger than that, and he's not gonna go away just because people believe he lost a beef, no matter how devastating they think it is. So I will say that.
Well said. 15 years of dominance.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah, I was say we'll see what's going on. I'll wait for the album. Sometimes these features, there's a Taylor Swift feature out right now on Gracie Abrams' album. You would think Taylor Swift is on
Yeah.
it. That's got to go to #1.
Right.
That it doesn't happen. It's just because it's featuring Drake means a lot different than Drake featuring or on Drake's own record. And I think we got to wait till it is a Drake-led record, whatever that is going to be, whenever that's going to be.
Right.
That's the moment that's going to tell us.
I love that.
How did you guys feel about the Camila record overall?
The album, I'll be real. I jumped to the first to the Drake records, but then, like I said, when Dream Girls came on, when I heard the Dream Flip, the Shorty's the shit, it caught my ear. I was like, okay. Then when I started playing the record, I was like, oh, this shit is cool.
Yeah.
Like even the Playboy Cardi single she had, I hate it. I love it at first, but that shit just fucking.
I've seen so many people
it
who
got so
said
fucking
that.
catchy, man.
They're like, is this a safe space? Can I, that's because even the preview was getting eviscerated
Yeah,
on Twitter.
yeah,
People were like, don't put this shit out.
No,
This
that's just
song is
catchy,
gonna
man.
suck. It's going to catch a brick. Like,
Can I give a quick shout out before we pivot? I got to give a quick shout out to Playboy Cardi. Just the features run he's been on.
Murdering.
it's
this
been a good
year.
year. Yeah.
It's been a really good year. So shout out to Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
Just want to keep it on a high since we were,
Since we were what, in the trenches,
deep in
putting Drake,
deep in the trenches.
6 guys 6 feet under. What?
But yeah, no. Listen. Next topic, last topic. But this past Sunday, BET Awards out in LA.
Yeah, I heard Carl Lamarre was there.
Black National Holiday.
It was a time out in LA. Big night for BET. You had Taraji P. Henson host for the 3rd consecutive year. Big names popped out. I'm talking about Will Smith, Childish Gambino, Megan Thee Stallion opened the show. Lauryn Hill showed up on time.
Crazy.
And closed it out with Wyclef. A little Fugees reunion right then and there, man. It's always a touchy subject, as far as like the BET Awards and its standing, obviously, since, with award shows kind of plummeting in terms of viewership. Any standout moment for you guys? Did BET come through, deliver this year?
I think compared to, it's tough because you are looking sort of back at when you look at 25 years of the BET Awards. I mean, it used to really feel like the Black Grammys or kind of thing. Like, I mean, you had legends with literally everybody from
Prince.
Prince would be there. Michael Jackson pops out, to do a surprise, appearance tribute for James Brown.
Stevie Wonder.
Michael wasn't going anywhere. Stevie Wonder would always be a staple. Whitney was there, so the sort of 2000s BET era is just, it almost feels unfair to compare it to because that was just like everybody was then and there. I think it's probably one of the
lost our legends. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, a lot of the ones we named pretty much are gone.
They're either dead or like they can't come to the show,
or they just don't want to.
Oh yeah, so they have a felony
of,
conviction, or they're behind bars, or not
good
welcome
point.
in the room.
I mean, I failed to mention also Usher Raymond, Lifetime Achievement. He was the man of the hour at the night who got honored. The tribute.
I'm gonna say to finish that point real quick.
What were
I was gonna say I think it was probably one of the
bad.
better ones of certainly the post-pandemic era.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a lot of talk about how hard it is to come put it together and how sort of last minute a lot of things might have been and how scrambling it was. So given that, I actually think it turned out pretty well. Probably the length was the only thing that I think really seemed kind of kind of crazy, and I know a lot of it was commercials. If you play it back, I guess somebody got to pay for that shit. But overall, I mean, I'm hoping we can take this and continue going forward in the next build off this year and keep it going back.
Yeah, I disclaimer: I used to work at BET, and I will say, working at BET gave me a new appreciation for just how difficult it is to put that show on. It's a massive undertaking. I give that team all the props in the world because, as you said, it goes up to the last minute. Like, I'm sure Connie, who's still I believe she's a SVP or EVP there now. To the last minute, she's working to get people there. And I remember back when Stephen Hill was there, he was working hard to get people in the door. And it's a hard show to put on. I'll say that. It's a really hard show to put on. So I always have like a soft spot for the BET Awards just because it's our biggest show for Black people. It's like the thing that basically, it's our biggest show. The biggest award show that caters to who we are and what we do and what we hold dear to us. So I think this year the length was the only thing that was crazy to me. The best part to me was Donald Glover going up to present an award, and he was like, yo, why doesn't BET fuck with me? And I was like laughing at first, thinking he was gonna like turn it into a joke, and then he like kept going. He was like, I have more Grammys than Will Smith, but I have the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith.
It's valid.
I mean, it was, but the best part was it really was a joke. But it was
a joke, but it was like
truth and comedy there. That was like,
I wasn't in the room, but I felt people were like, ha,
yeah. It was like,
and it's like that to me. It was like, damn, this is the guy who made Atlanta.
Which is surprising that he didn't even I'm sure Atlanta must have gotten nominated because I know BET. They
Well, I know a lot of cats who are like, how does he has Emmys and like all like how does how he should be sweeping the BET
because
award.
BET they do honor TV shows and movies as well.
They do, right. Everything. I was shocked. One, that he just said it, and two, I was shocked that he really does have the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith. I thought that was wild.
Was this his first time at the show? Would you guys happen to know?
I don't know. I mean, a bunch of people were like, the response to it, at least that I saw on social, where people were like, well, you don't really fuck with BET. Like, like, what is it, BET fucks with who fucks with BET? You don't fuck with it, so people aren't going to come. Or aren't gonna show out.
You think the invite got lost in the mail the past years?
I mean,
it feels like a go ahead.
It's a touchy conversation.
It's a chicken egg kind of thing.
It's a touchy conversation.
Because some people will say, hey, if BET is supposed to be black everything, you all should want to invite, even the weirdos and the creatives and the this and that. And then on the flip side is, then other people will say, well, are you trying to sit down and do interviews with us? Are you trying to be in the room with us? Are you trying to, mingle? Or are you just...
Like when you do a new movie...
Are you trying to get your EGOTs and stuff? And
are we in the room?
Right.
Or is it only,
what kind of junkets do you get access to? So it's sort of, so it sort of gets thorny with that. So it's almost like, it's like, like the black nerd ain't got no black friends. It's like, well, did the black people kick you out? Or did you not want to be with the black, So it does get...
having worked there, I remember I won't say any names. I remember there were certain black celebrities who had projects, and we'd be like, "Hey, what's up? You should do something with BET." And we're like, "BET," and it's like,
oh,
wow.
It's like, yeah, bro, we're always here for you.
Right. I was just gonna say.
And I'll say, to that point, Will Smith going and performing was amazing. But Will's been on this like black homecoming fucking press run.
Not on black again.
not the post slapper.
Ever since, if you read the trades, like our sister publications, Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and Variety, after the slap, his business partners, his investors, Hollywood studios put everything on pause. Mm-hmm. His investors were thinking of pulling out their money and trying to sell Westbrook because they were like, maybe his reputation is too damaged now. Maybe like niggas don't fuck with him anymore. We won't be able to recoup our investment. And what does he do? Comes right back to us. That was the blackest press run I've ever seen Will Smith do.
He did a couple of white publications.
Bro, he was talking to Carmelo Anthony.
He did Melo's.
He did Melo's podcast, which was
during the Bad Boy.
The interview, the interview was great. There's like a clip from that
Wow.
interview that I think I'll send it to you guys. It's amazing. He's talking about like Don Simpson telling him that the gulf between like 90 and 100% is larger than the gulf between 0 and 80%. And it's an amazing quote, and it really shows the work ethic and the dedication that he has towards his craft. But Will Smith was on this press run where he was talking to black podcasts that I hadn't even heard of, and he was like, blackety black.
This dude said Ali would never go to a Carmelo Anthony
and then he drops a rap song. I mean, like, it's like, but who's always there for you? BET. BET is always there for you. BET is like, yeah, well, come home.
Yeah.
And he comes and he performs, and it's great. It's a thing.
Dang.
I won't go any further.
I don't even know how to recover.
I was gonna say,
but Will did kill it with the Sunday service. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Sunday service. Kurt Franklin.
It was an amazing performance.
Joined his performance as well.
Blown away by it.
Great record. Childish did open up the Usher tribute. Did You Don't Have to Call It. I think it was from the Kauai mixtape because he did cover that song before.
Yeah.
Which was great. Usher's tribute. I'm curious to get y'all thoughts.
I had to get those BET compliments up front.
Oh, because this is this.
I had to get
so
them.
now the knife coming out.
Yeah, lay it thick, y'all.
Not a great tribute.
Yeesh.
Not a great tribute. For a guy who is right now, I would say, our premier musical pop star.
Yeah.
In terms of like just time spent. He's a legend. He's our guy who's been doing it forever. He's our vet. He's our legend. Didn't feel like a tribute that matched that. Didn't feel like it was up to the level of who we all believe Usher is.
Trev?
Well, I mean, sort of going off the social takes, I was trying to see what the temperature was on the internet. I did see a fair amount of that, but the question opened up to really become why. Because some people, if you feel like it wasn't of worthy of Usher, it's like, well, is it because we don't see a lot of the musical descendants who people think should have been there or could have been there? There's a lot of talk about, there was a lot of talk about men versus women, because the tribute was, it had a lot of women, and I think honestly a lot of them really killed it.
I thought it was Tiana and Vic.
The bad girl thing I think was probably the most well received, but also Coco Jones doing what song? There Goes My Baby.
Okay.
What Tinashe did, Nice and Slow. So I see a lot of people who, because one of Usher's big legacies is dance, of course, and so I was really trying to think about who is, because you've had you can draw a line from James Brown to Michael Jackson to Usher to Chris Brown.
Breezy was on tour,
and then it's kind of like,
to be fair,
because they were saying a lot of the male R&B singers today don't really dance, and so it's like I don't know who would have been the right, who is that person to carry on that legacy? Who would have been that central? Who would have been that central figure?
It's Chris.
Yeah, it's Chris.
It's Chris Brown.
It's just Chris. Chris is on tour.
He's the
He
guy.
said they ain't got Jets.
But even the fact that it's just, is it really just one?
Yeah, I think
because a tribute's gonna be 7-8 people.
You want Marion?
So
if we're talking dance and footwork, gets it in.
Sure.
I'm not saying he has to sing, but
No comment.
Wow. It was, but I think that was the puzzling thing for a lot. It was sort of.
I think O could have done You Remind Me.
Okay. Yeah. He kind of tried to remake that. No. Well, the video, I guess.
Like Superstar.
Yeah.
He could have done You or Touch.
Touch. Yeah. Sorry.
Touch.
Yeah.
Also, good. I don't know. Good choice to have Keke Palmer there. I don't know who booked that.
Yeah.
But given all the background with the residency and how that really, just blew up on social media, it was like, oh, that's a good little Easter egg if you really know, the connection between Keke and Usher.
Yeah. That's the thing that a black show can do.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I remember this. There's sometimes when it goes too far, some jokes were like, all right, you could cool it with the black Twitter stuff. But there's some moments where you're like, oh, this is perfect. This is just what I want to see. I thought Donald's. I don't think was it you who didn't like it. I thought Donald's.
You don't have when he did the cover, or
I thought the
cover was good.
I like the arrangement for it. I know some people kind of like why is it so auto tuned, but
because he can't sing like Usher.
But people, but he can sing. That's the weird part.
He can sing, but he can't sing like Usher.
But you don't have. But you're not trying to sing it like Usher. Just you change up the whole arrangement. Just do it like you.
Yeah, his cover of "So Into You." It was like
the one in the live lounge or whatever.
Fire.
Yeah. But Usher went on social media. He was very appreciative.
Yeah.
Said thank you to everyone involved in the tribute. He loved it.
I did think he was gonna perform, but then it hit me. He's also doing Essence Fest this week.
I think Usher's performed
enough
in the past 6 months to where he was like, he did Super Bowls, obviously in the residency. He's going on tour. It's kind of like, I'm gonna get honored. I'm gonna be honored.
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he told BET that, because I could see BET being like, "Yo, you gonna perform too?" And he's like, "Nah,
I'm gonna have a seat.
Nah.
I'm gonna sit my ass down right here and watch."
I had a great time on the red carpet. I think it's only right I ask my fellas here before we go. Favorite Usher record?
Ooh, all time.
Ooh, yeah.
Damn, you could have prepped us for this.
Oh shit. And we gotta do it quick so we ain't got a lot of dead air.
Yeah. I'll go first.
Yeah.
It's a tie between You Remind Me and You Don't Have to Call.
I would say either You Don't Have to Call or Climax.
I'll say Climax is definitely in my late stage Usher favorite. My early stage,
You Don't Have to Call is
it's classic.
the perfect song.
The video, the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect song.
I love the remix too. Shout out to Ludacris. That's an underrated remix.
Yeah.
Let me double check. I ain't missing none.
I feel like you would say Superstar.
No,
I was actually the lead vote getter on the carpet when I asked everybody.
Superstar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's between
Is it-
Superstar and Confessions.
The
Confessions
song
Part
can-
2.
Part 2.
Part 2 is hard.
Yeah, Part 2, amazing. I think the remix
That
was.
can't be your favorite
Yeah.
Usher song.
I mean,
bro.
it's just.
really.
like that's too pop.
I mean,
That's
yes,
too mainstream.
I think I gotta
Good
give it
song,
to You Got It
but,
Bad.
Like,
You got it bad. I
early-
like you.
for
Yeah,
early
you
era.
got it bad.
yeah, you got it bad is
Because I just think that's like when you just really like try to sing that, in your shower, whatever. I mean,
Have you tried to sing Climax?
Well, yeah,
Yo, yeah,
yeah,
that
but you,
shit is-
you, you,
Falsetto
don't,
is
but you
crazy.
don't even, you drop right down to that tenor as best you can, and you just
You pop a
take
blood
the
vessel
L.
trying to hit them notes. Bro.
Yeah.
That shit is hard.
Nah,
So
it's
yeah,
tough.
I'm gonna
that's
go. Yeah.
hilarious. Hopefully,
What a
Be-
legend.
listen,
What a legend.
I can't wait to see the tour.
Hell yeah, bro.
That
I'm-
should be a good one.
Yeah, when,
Can't wait.
when does that kick
August.
off? Okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So we'll definitely be at the show. BET giving y'all flowers. Y'all did it again this year. Can't wait for next year. And we hope you guys are able to kick it with us next week for a fresh episode of Billboard Unfiltered.